Sophia and this is Sis Crafting. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some scrunchies. What I like about this tutorial is you don't use elastic. We use rubber bands rather for your hair, which I honestly think these are a bit easier. You don't have to sew them at the end, and I feel like they're more handy. You know, more people have rubber bands on hand than elastic. And also, I honestly like the feel better. I don't really like the feel of elastic. I like the feel of an actual rubber band in there. So it's your choice, but this video, rubber band, cringo. Okay, how much of that was cringy?
Just the end.
Hi guys, I'm Sophia, and this... What did I do?
Nothing! You started over.
Hi guys, I'm Sophia, and this is Sis Crafting. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some scrunchies. They're so fun to add some color and pop into your hair. What I honestly like about these scrunchies is that... So for this tutorial, you're going to need some fun fabric. It's fun to match it to your clothes as well. I also have tie-dyed some fabric, so that's fun to make some tie-dye scrunchies like this one. Some tie-dye. So fabric, rubber bands, thread for your sewing machine that you also need, scissors, and honestly, you don't need pins. But you may find it easier with pins. I don't, but you can use pins. Alright, let's get to the tutorial. Alright, to begin, you're going to want to go ahead and cut your fabric. I already have mine cut. I cut mine 3 inches by 16 inches. So you're going to want to have like a really long strip. Now, obviously, you can make the dimensions any way you want. If you make it wider this way, then you're just going to have a really fat scrunchie. Or you make it longer this way, you're just going to have more like of the ruffles, okay? So then you're going to want to take, after you've cut your fabric, you take your scrunchie, and we're wrapping the fabric around our scrunchie. So you can wrap the fabric. You want to make sure the pretty part is on the inside because we're going to be turning it inside out. So you can go ahead and pin this, but honestly, you're going to be having to go around your rubber band. And so it's going to kind of change a little bit as you go. So I don't use pins, but if you like pins, you can absolutely use them. Okay, so you want to get right in the middle here. You want to line them up. And you want to be careful. You do not want to sew on your rubber band. You're just simply sewing. We're just sewing right on the edge right here. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to put our needle in. Pedal down. Okay, it's going to get a little messed up because of the rubber band, but it's not a big deal. There. Okay. So then you want to start sewing. You're just doing like a normal straight stitch. So you want to go back and forth to start it. Okay, so now you're going to want to keep adjusting it as you go. Because you want it to wrap around your rubber band, right? So just going to kind of pull the rubber band into it because you're surrounding it. And then you just want to keep sewing. Keep adjusting it. That's why I don't like to use pins, because you're constantly adjusting it to make sure the rubber band stays inside of your fabric. It's going to get a little bit scrunched up, but don't worry about that. That is exactly the way you want it. Right. Remember, you want to make sure you always stop and adjust it before you actually get to the rubber band. The farther along you get, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to keep hold of it, but just keep lining it up and keep going. Since there's so much fabric in the rubber band, you may have to pull it on the back side, but there's enough fabric where you should be able to reach back and pull it if you need to keep the sewing machine moving. You want to go ahead and remove it from your sewing machine. And now, I'm going to go ahead and cut all these loose threads off. You don't have to, but it just kind of makes it neater and a little easier to see what you're doing. Alright, so now that we've cleaned it up a little bit, we're going to want to go ahead and turn it inside out. You're just going to start from one end and you're just going to start pulling it through. So you want to see the pretty side come through. Alright, so now I've gone ahead and pulled it totally out. Now you're going to want to go to your open ends and you want to actually fold it in a little bit so that way you get a nice clean edge. So you guys actually don't have to worry about touching on both sides since one side is going to go into each other. So make sure you get a nice clean tuck on one side, and then if you'd rather you can just stick it in without tucking it because you honestly won't be able to tell. You want to kind of try to line them up. Alright, so now I've got one side inside of each other, and something I've noticed, they usually don't come out even. I don't know why that is since you're, sewing evenly around, but it's not that big of a deal. I would not worry about it. And what you want to do here is we're going to do a straight stitch down. You can go over the rubber band. Oh, I've got the metal on there. You want to make sure you don't have the metal because that could really hurt your needle. Honestly, I don't like going all the way down. I don't like sewing over the rubber band. You can, you don't have to. I usually don't, so it's your personal preference. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do a straight stitch. And you want to make sure it's all smooth in that area, and so that way you don't get these overlapping lumps of fabric and it'll look kind of weird. So you just want to make sure it's nice and smooth and make sure all the ends are in. You don't want loose ends. And remember, you want to try to keep that stitch as neat as possible since that is what is going to show. But it's really not that big of a deal. It doesn't really show when it's in your hair. So you want to make sure you go over it a few times, that way it's nice and secure. You want to go ahead and cut it free from your sewing machine, and you want to cut out all these extra loose threads. So there we go. You guys can play around with the way the fabric scrunches, and you can actually kind of hide the part that you sew on. So you kind of like that, you kind of hide it. But honestly, you can't really tell once it's in your hair. Scrunchies! 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 They all ended too perfectly. Scrunchies! These are such a quick and easy project to make, and you can always make lots and lots and lots to match all your different outfits. That way you got lots of matching hair stuff. And in the morning, we'll make scrunchies. Shrek. Is this better? Like this? Look. This? Or this? One makes my head dip. One makes my head not so dip. In the morning, we're making scrunchies. Scrunchies! They are so much fun. And they're honestly a super easy project to make. You can make lots and lots and lots to match all your different outfits. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you do follow it, we would absolutely love to see your scrunchies. You can post them on Instagram and tag us at SisCrafting747. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Bye! Should I just throw it up, or should I throw it up and yell scrunchies? Okay, I'm so yelling at them. Scrunchies! I'm laugh. 5. Stay with dusty room on again.
Don't need me.
I got.
And
2 more.
what's wrong with you?
Scrunchies, 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 scrunchies.